Welcome to VolleyTalk alongside me in Austin. I'm Elliot Skelly. Joining us today, Division II State Coach of the Year Connor Games and Division II Player of the Year Gavin Gerhard, both part of the back-to-back state championship McNick teams. Guys, how you doing?
Doing great.
Well, thanks for having us.
Good to hear. Now, both of you were part of that state championship team last year, like I said. Gavin, obviously you were a player, got a great win in 5 sets over St. Charles, and Coach, you were an assistant at the time. Now, of course, the big storyline coming into this year was you only graduated one middle from that state championship team, and you're in a great position to repeat. Now, Coach, what has your role with the McNick team been like over the years, and how'd you get into the head coaching role?
Yeah, last year was my first year back with the program. I was actually an alumni of the team. I graduated in 2015, and Julie was actually my coach during that time. So last year I had gotten back into club coaching and gotten back in touch with Julie, and she let me know that there was an opportunity to get back involved at McNick at the JV level. And that was sort of my path back into the program, and then had the opportunity to step up this year and move up to varsity. And I'm glad to be a part of it. It's been a fun ride.
Now, Gavin, everyone, including you guys, knew that you would be a great team in Division Two this year. What we didn't quite expect at the beginning of the year was how good you guys would be against Division One competition. You guys started off the year early on with a sweep against New Albany, and then more importantly, a sweep against Moeller, taking set one 25-14. What was it like to start the year in such a dominant fashion?
Uh, well, obviously, like I know almost all the guys on all those D1 teams, especially the guys nearby, like Moeller, St. X, and Elder. So we've been talking about the upcoming game, our senior year, when all of us are seniors ready to graduate since, for the last like 3 years. So of course this was it. But yeah, all of us knew each other on either side of the court, so we all wanted it so bad. I only wish I could have gotten to play them more because those games were probably the most fun of my whole high school career.
You talk about the GCL connections, if you will, St. X, Moeller, Elder. After that victory over Moeller, did you have a chance to talk to some of your teammates that were playing for the Crusaders afterwards?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, two of the guys play on the same club team as me, Daniel Mack and William Sauer. So I see them I see them all the time at practice, and then I like Daniel's one of my best friends, so I see him all the time outside of volleyball as well. So yeah, of course we talked about it. We talk all the time. They're both great.
That's awesome. Now, Coach, shortly after that, you suffered your lone loss of the year to St. X. As a D2 program, even hanging with a team like the Region 4 champs and the reigning state champs at the time, that's something to be proud of. But what adjustments did you make to try to push this team to the next level?
Yeah, I mean we had some great wins early in the year, and then had our lone defeat this season against St. X. And really, I think we played them tough that night. They just played lights out, and I think that can always happen in this game if you catch a team on their best day. Doesn't always go your way, but I think we held up with everybody that we faced this year, and we weren't necessarily too put off by that result. I think we knew we had confidence in what we wanted to do the whole time, and that didn't really put too much doubt in our minds about the ability and the team that we had. So we just stuck to our plan and kept to it.
Now, there's a pretty great week stretch where you swept Carroll, Baden, and then went to Aquat at Mount Vernon, swept St. Mid St. Mary, swept DeSales. All pretty great teams in Division Two. And if you look at the set scores, not just sweeps, like pretty bad sweeps, like dominant. Now, Gavin, what was the attitude after such a great day at Mount Vernon? What was the attitude of the team?
Uh, we were feeling pretty good. We were feeling pretty confident about what was to come. I remember I think it was that Thursday we played Baden. I was thinking after the game, I was like, wow, that was some of the best volleyball that this team has ever played. I really hope we can continue that. And then we went into that weekend and topped that pretty heavily. Uh, that was decidedly the best volleyball our team has ever played. So, yeah, it was pretty great feeling coming out of that after that weekend. And we really just hope to carry that on for the rest of the season.
It's awesome. Now, I would say if there's one thing I don't like about dominant seasons, in my opinion, it's the league matches don't feel as significant. When you go 10-0 in GCL Co-ed and win league championship, it doesn't feel as cool. But one team that kind of was a thorn in your side this year, at least a little bit, was Bishop Fenwick. And on your second win, it was kind of like, all right, like this is the nail in the coffin. We're probably going to win the conference championship. Was it a major goal of the team this year, Coach? I mean, was there a celebration or was it more just taking care of business?
No, I think we were always a little bit hesitant about getting too carried away with any individual win. I mean, we definitely respect Fenwick. We've gone back and forth with them over the last few years, and it's never easy. It's always a competitive match when we get together with that group. And I certainly, as an individual, wasn't thinking that it was going to be in the bag after the second round, the second matchup with them. I knew that if we happened to cross paths again, that it was going to be extremely difficult. And yeah, I don't think we were letting ourselves get too carried away with that.
Now, after that, you guys headed to Elder for a try match against the Panthers and also Beaver Creek. And despite that battle, you still walked out of there with 2 sweeps in 3 sets. And we've seen this type of success against GCL South programs before, such as 2021 Fenwick or 2022 Baden, a lot of other state championship winning teams. But a lot of those wins came at home. You guys were able to go into Elder and get that win against the Panthers. Gavin, how did you guys get that sweep that day?
Well, we really came into it. A lot of us were really just that was the game in our mind for like the week leading up to it. I remember at practice there was a lot of if you guys play like this in practice, how are you going to beat a team like Elder? It was a lot of that's what was on our mind for the week. So yeah, we just came locked and loaded, ready to go. All of us were super mentally. I remember I talked to one of our middles, Jay Clifton, before. I was like, you got to remember you're probably going to make mistakes. They're a really good team. You're probably going to get used. You got to stay cool the whole time. And he did a really great job that night. He was definitely one of the leaders that day. Yeah, but overall, it was a really, really good win for our team.
So then you went into the postseason, worked your way through Marshall, LaSalle, and Taylor before you got to the regional final. Now, our thought was Bishop Fenwick was your one, like, if they don't win the state championship, it's because Bishop Fenwick knocks them off. That was my thought. They were number 2 in our polls most of the year. Then they get upset by Roger Bacon, and then Loveland upsets Roger Bacon. Suddenly you're playing Loveland in a regional final. Were you guys as surprised by that as we were?
Yeah, I was out at lunch with some of my friends. We couldn't believe it. It was me and 2 of my teammates. We were all like, we couldn't believe it. We were kind of jumping for joy because we were a little scared to see Fenwick in the finals because we knew they were gonna come out real hot since we saw them the last year. We knew that they wanted it just as badly as we did, regardless of which team was better. But yeah, I mean, we were pretty happy that we didn't have to see them. Although I do kind of wish that we'd gotten to play them one more time.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, staying with you, Gavin, you guys started the state tournament with a semifinal matchup against St. Vincent St. Mary, who you swept in the regular season. You personally also saw them in 2023 in the state semifinals. That time, the Irish won. Nonetheless, the Irish have been a great fight for you guys over the years. What did you guys need to do to get past this STVM team this time?
Well, it was kind of funny because we remembered a lot of the same guys from years before, or some of them at least. Specifically, I remember Mason Winters at least playing. I've seen him a lot just from club and like traveling, all that stuff. Um, but yeah, the whole time it was pretty much the same game plan as we had playing them at the Mount Vernon tournament. Just when we went up there. That was a good opportunity to see what they looked like, see what they could do. But um, we had pretty much the same game plan for every other team we played. It wasn't too much different.
Then it was time for the finals against the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets. And again, you've been the favorites in D2 all year. The one wrench that kind of got thrown into it after last year returning most of your guys was a lot of D1 teams are moving down. One of them was Mount Vernon, and they were certainly one of the more successful ones. And to their credit, first and third sets were a battle. But second set was a no-doubter. 25-4 in a state championship match is ridiculous.
Forward, serves Komatow. Sit to the back row. Black, too strong, out of bounds.
Coach, what do you think made this group special to propel them to be able to do that kind of work in a state championship?
I think we always knew how talented this group was. I think we never really questioned how much ability we had on our side, how much determination there was to get to that end result. I think there were points throughout the year where we looked at it and thought, we're really close to hitting our best volleyball, and we saw glimpses. But I really think in that moment, it just all kind of came together. And honestly, as a coach, watching that performance from a sideline, it's a difficult situation to be in because, I mean, for one, I was thrilled to see how much fun they were having, but it's also a state championship match and it's not the last set of that match. So you don't want to get too carried away. You know that there's a great team on the other side of the court. And we had seen teams throughout that weekend have down sets and then come back the next one. And and play lights out. So not one to get too carried away, but ultimately it was a fun thing to be a part of because I for sure think that's the best I've seen this team play all season. For it to happen at that moment, that was just awesome.
Awesome for sure. Now, Gavin, you've had a fantastic high school career. If you look at your time from sophomore to senior year, you made the Final Four every single season, two state championships, a state player of the year award this year. What do your plans look like for college in terms of volleyball?
Um, I really don't know entirely. I would love, I'm currently planning on going to Ohio State, so if I could get an opportunity to walk on there, that would be absolutely amazing. I've been looking into some of the eligibility rules there, some new stuff this year with eligibility. But if not, I'm super happy to be able to play club there or to be on the practice team if they take me. So yeah, volleyball is not out of my life yet. And I play a lot of sand as well, especially over the summer. So I'll be excited to do that with whoever I can.
It's awesome. Sounds like a good plan. Well, through 28 best of five matches this year, only seven drop sets all year long, only one loss to one of the best D1 teams in the state. With all due respect to Alter's run back there, I think it's pretty fair to say that this is one of, if not the most dominant Division II single season performance we've ever seen. Not to mention, it makes it back-to-back state championships for the program.
Outside, Tierney. It can't be done. In front of Ferguson. And the Rockets of McNick's High School are back-to-back state champions.
Coach, pretty fantastic first year for your career, but you got a lot of talent like Gavin graduating. What's your message for your returning guys to try to keep the success rolling?
Time to step up. We obviously have a ton of big personalities, great players walking out the door this year. They've given so much to this program in the time that I've been here, and I know dating back before then. So we're extremely appreciative for all the seniors that contributed to the last few seasons and this run in general. And luckily, the guys who are coming up through the ranks have had the experience to watch them, practice with them, learn from them. And we're hoping that that is going to serve them well in the years to come. And we're going to keep to what we do, hope that they're going to be as fueled and as motivated and love the game as much as this group has. And we'll try and help them to get back to where we need to be.
Definitely. Sounds like you're doing a great job. One moment I really liked in the state final, you guys were up 21-3, lose the point to make it 21-4. And I mean, at 21-4, you could throw Long Beach on the other side. Like, you're still probably going to win the set. But I saw you on the side, like, hey, next ball, let's go. Like, no complacency, get it done. I really like that. So, seems like you're doing a great job. Obviously, you're doing a great job with this season. Best of luck next year to try to make it a three-peat. Gavin, good luck at college. I'm sure Ohio State, whether club or varsity, it's going to be a great experience. So, thanks for coming on, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome to VolleyTalk alongside Mir Snossen. I'm Elliot Scully. Join us today, Region 2 Coach of the Year Dominic Adornato and second team All-Region middle hitter Will Overberger, both a part of the state championship setting Ignatius team. Guys, how you doing?
Doing well.
How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. Glad to hear it. So last year, you guys had a great year, made the state championship before running into one of the best teams Ohio's ever seen, lost to San X 3-0. Now, Will, with you being on that team, how much did that loss hurt and motivate you guys to come back better?
I mean, yeah, it hurt a lot. We obviously knew how talented they were going into the game, and we had to put up like a stellar performance to beat them. But I guess just I love that team so much, the guys, that group, and so just that season just ending in general really hurt. But I don't know, that experience was crucial in our run this year.
Now, Coach, your guys' first head-turning performance of the year came at the Mount Vernon Try. It saw you sweep both Moeller and Mount Vernon. Was that a surprise to you guys at that point, and how much confidence did that result give to your team?
No, it wasn't a surprise. I think in the beginning of the year, with that summer and just going into the year, we had already on that confidence. It was just putting it to the test throughout the year. And it was just an opportunity to show what we could be this year in an early top 10, top 5 matchup. And I think just throughout that year, we just had to continue to prove not only to ourselves, but the whole entire state that we could make it back not only to states, but that state final game.
For sure. Now, then you guys got to host two solid Central Region programs in Dublin Jerome and Beaver Creek. The Beaver Creek match saw you guys drop your first set of the year, but outside of that, a fairly dominant day. You guys stayed undefeated, and then Jackson comes into your gym, and it's the same thing. It's a battle, and they take a set, but in the end, you're able to take the match in four. Will, what was that match and just that overall stretch like?
Um, I feel like it was obviously a good stretch. We're winning all our games. We kind of saw those few weeks. We knew Thomas Worthington was a big threat, so we saw those 2 weeks leading up. We are like, all right, we got to prepare. Kind of, we played like Avon before Jackson, so we kind of saw it in like three phases: Avon, Jackson, and Thomas. And we were just trying to prepare for that game for the most part.
As you said, at that point, you traveled to the Thomas Worthington for a Saturday matchup. At that time, in our polls, you guys were the top two teams in the state. You still have your only single match loss of the season and what would become a preview of the state championship. Now, Coach, what was that environment like, and what did you learn from that loss?
Oh, it was a wild environment. Topside Thomas Worthington, that match, their fans really showed in their home gym. It was probably the closest to a state final match in the regular season we got with that kind of crowd. And I thought, even though we lost, it was a good match to have, not only to see where we were, but what we still needed to be. Give us a little more data on how our team was, like starting our lineup in different spots. And I think we need a little bit of humble pie. And I'm sure if you ask Will, that loss actually had a pretty good effect on what we need to do as a team. And of course, being in the middle of the year, it was the perfect time for it.
And I think kind of a similar experience was that next weekend. We went to the Centerville Elite Eight tournament, got the one seed, whether or not it was deserved, maybe up in the air, but you got it. Swept Centerville in the opening round, lost Elder in about as close to a five-set match as you can possibly have, and then lost to Moore in 5 sets to get fourth place on the day. Now, Will, obviously not exactly the result you're looking for, but still playing great against great competition. What was the feeling of the players after that day?
Well, I mean, we had seen so much of just teams beating each other up all year. Like Elder beat Xavier earlier the year. Elder and Moeller were going at it. Xavier was getting into close matches, TW. And so I don't know, after that Elder game, we're like all disappointed in the loss, but we're like, okay, we can hang with everyone here. Like we can compete for a state title, especially after that Thomas game, which kind of sucked a lot of the life out of us.
Well, it seemed like from there you guys were able to get a little bit more comfortable, finished up the regular season against Cleveland competition, not dropping a set before heading into the playoffs. You took care of business in that region, winning 3-0 over the pesky Jackson Polar Bears again in the regional final. Coach, when you take a look at that game and just that run in general, how good did it feel to put to rest any chance you got upset in that region?
It's always nice to win in three. So it just felt good to take care of business. We did the entire year within our region, only losing one set in the region the entire year going into the playoffs and be able to continue to do it throughout the playoffs. It was nice, but I told the guys, hey, we got to take care of our own region just to get back to states. We can't look ahead too much. And I give credit to all those guys. We really did our job.
Then it was time for a rematch with the reigning state champs, the St. Xavier Bombers. I heard X and three, X and three. That was a common thing when people were talking about that match. You guys got it done in 5 sets. One of the best semifinal matches we've ever seen. Certainly the best the OHSAA has seen so far. And, again, we know Jack Regan's a great player. He's going to have a great game. And he did. But, Will, I mean, you had such a great game that day. I mean, I think it's hit 619 with 14 kills as a middle. I mean, so freaking effective. It was the point. Like, I was like, man, that middle's doing really well. And then I was like, all right, that's Overberger. And then every time you got a kill, I'd look at me here and be like, Overberger again, Overberger again.
And they're doing rally towels with their shirts right now, cheering on their fans.
Overberger.
I mean, talk to me about the emotion of taking down that X team when nobody thought you could do it.
Yeah, I think the big thing was even though nobody thought we could do it, we definitely thought we could. The whole time, going into the week, the mindset was we have the talent to do this, we're ready for this, and we're gonna win this game.
Source, Evans, back row, Taggart on Broby. Kane goes up and hits it. Broby keeps it alive. The block, it's out. And the winners of the hard-fought semifinal matchup.
And so just going extremely hard at practice, beating each other up in a way, but recovering and just preparing for the game. I feel like going into it, we were just extremely ready.
And again, it's another 5-set victory, if you will. And that was one thing we talked about that Saturday night was can they do it again? Coach, it's tempting after a great win like that over the defending champs and a team that beat you last year to lose sight of the ultimate goal. But how did your guys keep focus on winning it all and looking at Sunday's match?
At the end of the match, we had a small celebration at our parents' tailgate, and we set our plan for that night. Like, hey, we're celebrating a little bit now. We're gonna have some dinner, get back to the hotel. But then we went right into film. We did it in the hotel lobby. We mirrored our laptop on it, and we went over like three or four games of Worthington, how they like to start, what we think they're gonna do, and we went in all different scenarios because our goal wasn't just to beat Xavier or get back to the finals. We wanted to close it. We wanted to win it all. So we looked at different scenarios based on their health, with Finn potentially playing, Finn not playing. So it was always the goal. The goal wasn't just to get back to the finals. The goal was to beat whoever was in front of us, and that was Worthington.
What was your guys' strategy this time around in terms of trying to beat Thomas Worthington?
So our goal basically was put one of our better blockers, our opposite Gavin Schaefer, on JT, which was the same idea against Xavier with Taggart. We knew we weren't going to stop them. However, if we could annoy them a little bit, take them a system a little bit there, that would do us some good. Avoid having our setter against their OH1, then on every middle hit, double block with the outside, and then just attack. We didn't want to give any free balls. We knew if we served their libero Barnes or a few guys a little weaker and they're in system, they're almost impossible to stop. So the first part was the serve. Second, being system as so much as we can on our serve receive, and then just every ball attack. Even we don't want to give any free ball. So it was basically that was the three-pronged plan, as you will.
Sure. Now, you won set one easily. Set two is a nail biter, but you went up 2-0. Thomas comes back, forces a fifth set in the state championship. They started that one up 7-0 in the fifth set, which only played to 15.
May serves Reagan again. Broby, back row. Rossetti right into the block. Finn Rubin.
And you gotta tell you, the faces and the body language of most of the guys, it was like, man, like we just lost. And it's tough not to. I mean, you're down 7-0 in the fifth set, but then Jack Reagan goes back to the service line, has the run of his life.
7-7 Reagan. Off of JT again. Out of bounds. 8 points in a row for St. Ignatius.
4 aces get you back to 8-7. And from there, it was anyone's game. You fought tooth and nail. You took set 5, 16-14, and delivered the second state championship in program history.
Barnes with a bump. Buddy sends it across. It's out of bounds. And the champions of the OHSAA Division I boys volleyball are the Wildcats of St. Ignatius High School.
Will, talk me through the ups and downs in that state championship match.
Yeah, so going into it again, I feel like we were pretty confident. We trusted ourselves. And then as the game progressed, we're like, all right, we're doing this. Set two, we might have got a little over our heads. I remember I was in a huddle with Coach Dom and a few other guys, and I specifically stated, we're not getting reverse swept. And we joked about it after, but I almost spoke it into life. And then, I don't know, just the third and fourth sets unfolded. We lost our identity a little bit, started playing scared, I would say. And then fifth set, that continued. I know I shouldn't say this, but I was losing hope really fast. It was tough to watch. And then just coming back, Jack's serving run, it was unbelievable. It just inspired us. We saw that we could do this.
Well, when you take a look at that final point, it's kind of interesting because you were the one closest to that ball when it landed out of bounds. What was going through your head, seeing it go out of bounds and realizing you guys were state champs?
Yeah, so I saw the free ball coming over, and I was like, all right, I gotta take this with my hands for the first like few seconds, and then I saw it starting to curve. I was like, oh, that might be out. And then Adam, our DS on my left, started screaming out, and that just confirmed it. But I just followed to the line, uh, saw it go out.
That's awesome. Now, Coach, one of the things that you talked to us a couple of years ago in our first meeting with you, and I actually have a quote from that episode. It was our second ever episode. You said, quote, "When I was a player at Ignatius, the North region was always kind of like the easy way out. So when I got hired to coach my alma mater, I was like, I want to change that." So how rewarding was it to, get over the hump and give the North region a state championship?
It means a lot. So when I got hired at Ignatius, I promised kind of like an elevator speech, like, "Hey, if you hire me, we're going to win a state title within the 5 years, within my first 5 years." And my AD and our president of the school called me, and my AD was like, "Hey, Dom, I remember on that promise. You made it a little close, but you did it. So congratulations." And I think it just comes to show like since basically 2017 when Ignatius won the last state title, this is now only the third time the title hasn't been in the GCL and in the South. And the only other two teams that have done it was St. Ed's and I think 2012, Ignatius 2017. So it's only the third time the North has ever won it. And it just shows that anybody can do it with that mindset. So I'm more than ecstatic, but it's a testament to my guys. They believed it the whole year. Getting to back-to-back state titles is hard enough as it is, but winning the way we did, I still can't fathom how that game went. I've never been a part of a title match like that. I've never been part of a weekend like that, and we're just really happy we're on the other side. I think it's two of the best matches OHSAA is ever going to see in a long time.
For sure. Run for the ages, absolutely. So saying Ignatius losing a few great players, Will, obviously you're one of them, but return a lot of key pieces as well. You'll certainly have a great chance to come back next year and come back do this again. Will, do you have any parting words for your teammates, any inspiration?
Yeah, so first I just want to say thank you. These 4 years have been some of the best of my life, maybe the best of my life. Um, it's just been a great overall experience going forward. Make sure you take those open gyms, the lifts in the off season seriously. Come together as a group because state championships aren't really won in May; they're won in September, October when you're grinding through the open gyms.
Well, incredible run, guys. Will, I know you're studying engineering at Ohio State, so good luck with that. Dom, come back, quest for the back-to-back. Good luck with that. I gotta say, state championship probably couldn't have happened to a nicer group of players and coaches. So it's really great to see you guys win it. Congratulations. Good luck next season. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you guys for everything.
Appreciate you guys having us.
All right, that was Coach Connor Games, Gavin Gerhardt, Coach Dominic Adonato, and Will Overberger. I do like having the player coach combo on the state championship episodes, but been a great season, man. 3 years running. I feel like again it gets better every year, and I truly don't think that there's anybody else on the planet that I could do this with. You do such a great job. Just always, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that people know this. Like you fly out for the state finals the past couple of years. Like you fly from Arizona to Ohio to watch the state finals for free just because you love the game. I think it's awesome. Such a passionate guy. Been great working with you.
Yeah, thank you. And again, I can't thank you enough for having me on, throughout the years, getting this idea out as we continue to grow the sport of boys volleyball in the state of Ohio. And I think one thing that reminds me at the end of this year, you talked about Alabama football going into the state championships. I kind of thought about an Arizona State football quote that Kenny Dillingham has put out, and it's have fun working harder than everybody else in the country. And that's kind of the mantra around Arizona State football right now. Obviously, just going to the college football playoff and what it was an improbable season overall. And I feel like a lot of the teams that, made the run to the state tournament, and Ignatius and McNick for sure could probably relate to that because you have a great community. You have people that are willing to work hard for themselves, work hard for each other, and then work hard for the community. And it's really great that we get to highlight programs like these and many others across the state that are just showcasing how great the sport of volleyball is throughout the state of Ohio. So once again, thanks for all of your work. Thanks for tuning in. And it was once again a great season.
With that, this has been Ohio VolleyTalk, and we will catch you next season.